I was so excited to bring the climate justice revival to the Unitarian Universalist congregation of Eau Claire. I hope that you are feeling the energy of knowing that we are literally joining 350 plus congregations all around the country, sharing in a common liturgy, in common words, in common stories. It's a remarkable day, and I'm so glad that you are here. And I also am so grateful for Laura. Where is Laura? Where did Laura go? Oh my gosh, Laura. The way you lifted up those songs, those words, that we are a part of it. We are all a part of it. Was so moving. Thank you. Thank you for your gift. Today, we come together, connected as concerned climate citizens, concerned people of the world, concerned activists with what I think is a shared story. Borrowing writer Rebecca Solnit's words, we are a people who love the natural world. David lifted that up so clearly, his love for Lake Superior that I share as well. We are a people who love the natural world not only because it gives us conditions of survival, but also wonder and splendor and interdependencies. And we are a people who oppose the fundamental unfairness of climate chaos. Who creates and benefits from it, and who suffers from it? What we have been increasingly experiencing is a drastic unbalancing of the earth brought on specifically by humans and our human interactions. As our planet continues to heat up, it changes the jet stream, oceanic currents, and the weather, and pointedly, it signifies humanity's estrangement from creation, the fractured relationship we have with nature, with the more than human world, with the blue boat we call home. For me, and likely many of you, this loss brings a deep sense of grief and anger too. It's easy and natural to fear. Are we too late? Can we really heal and restore our planet? It's easy and natural to be cynical about whether ordinary citizens like you and me can actually make a real difference, can really bring about the change that is needed, and most critically, to bring it about through the lens of justice, to understand that climate justice and racial justice are intertwined. You cannot achieve climate justice without also achieving racial justice. And these feelings and these questions and these emotions and anger and despair and cynicism, these are tender and holy, and we need to honor the pain that they bring us and also lift up how these feelings show that we are paying attention. We are not checked out. We are not complacent. We can see and feel and hear and know what is going on out there in the world. It makes a difference to put our hands on the earth and in its waters, not as natural resources valued for their usefulness or even their beauty or nourishment, but as a fundamental affirmation for the interconnected web of all existence of which we are a part. And it makes a difference who we are. Unitarian Universalists with a spiritual and ethical responsibility to the earth and to all of its people. We humans are the greatest uncertainty in the climate system, and we have choices. From a technical standpoint, I want to offer one way to look at it, and this comes from President Obama's senior science advisor, when he gave 3 options in a 2008 address that are still true, but hold much greater urgency 16 years later. Here are the 3 options he named in his address. 1, we can reduce the heat-trapping gas emissions that are causing climate to change. And we can do that. 2, we can build resilience and prepare to adapt to the changes that we can't change and that have already happened. And the 3rd choice is we can suffer. And the people who will most suffer are the ones who are already suffering, who are already facing injustices and oppression economically, racially, socially. We're going to do some of all 3 of those choices. All 3 of them are a foregone conclusion. But the question is, which mix? Which mix is it going to be? From a spiritual perspective, a big factor in determining that mix and reducing suffering as much as possible, I feel, is moving from a power over stance so entrenched in our extractive history and action and practices to a spirit of power with. Power with is rooted in relationship. It draws on the collective strength of the we that dares to dream of and build towards what's possible when we put reciprocity and responsibility, compassion and love at the center. Because the bottom line is we're not trying to just fix the climate crisis as if it exists in isolation. Katharine Hayhoe, who I hope you'll read, she's this amazing climate scientist, and she also is an evangelical Christian. And she has a book that she has written called Save Us. I really, really hope you'll read it. It is an amazing book. And in it, she gives us a really clear bottom line. Climate change is not only a science issue. It's not just an environmental issue. It is a health issue. It's a food issue, a water issue, an economic issue. It's an issue of hunger and of poverty and of justice. It's a human issue. We humans are the reason why climate is changing, but that also means our future is in our hands. That's the bottom line. The future is in our hands. And what that means is it's also in our imaginations. It's in our hearts. It's in our convictions. It's in our willingness to change. It's in our willingness to decide to do stuff, to do things, to do without waiting to have a perfectly crafted plan, without waiting to be an expert, without waiting for all the stars to align. It is being willing to bring our gifts, our attention, our intention, our willingness to change forward. And this is a big reason why I brought the Creative Showcase up here front and center on this chancel. The pieces that people brought in, that you brought in, represent hands and hearts willing to tell stories, to invite questions, to create containers, to reuse and make anew, to add beauty and usefulness and frivolity, to show that we have the power and passion of making things, of imagining things, of knowing that there are more than one way forward. People transformed uncertainty about what to make or how to make. They let go of nervousness or perfectionism or fear, and they put something forth. Look at that. Look at all of the different creations that are up here. As Toni Morrison said, it's not possible to constantly hold on to crisis. You have to have the love. You have to have the magic. And that's also life. This is the magic that David, I imagine, you experienced when you were up there on beautiful Madeline Island, looking out across the fresh, clear, clean, fresh waters of Gitchigami, of Lake Superior. One of the revival's organizers, Rachel Miss-Livy, preached that we need to advocate for clean energy, clean water, clean air as human rights, as nature rights, and as earth rights. Let's bring the creative magic to that work. Let's be more connected, more nourished, more visionary. Let's build on the changes that we make in our own personal lives and here at this congregation to help propel us in the call for the systemic changes that have to happen. And I want to give one quick example. Thanks to the vision of Janice and Jim Tyler, UUC recently upgraded its HVAC systems to heat pumps. This is in addition to all kinds of other work that you've been doing to this building. The addition of those heat pumps is a really big deal. It is going to save energy, and it's going to save the congregation thousands of dollars per year in its heating costs. Now imagine scaling up that kind of upgrade to every single building in Eau Claire. This thermal energy network, which allows buildings to share heat and make electrical heat much more efficient. Innovations like these lower utility costs and are healthier for people and our climate. And don't misunderstand me up here saying we must all go to thermal energy networks, that this is the technological solution that's going to solve everything. What I am lifting up is how we can start with the things that we may do in our own homes, in our own buildings, and imagine and work towards what it would be like to scale up, to ensure that everybody, no matter their income, no matter if they're homeowners or renters or living in a tent or living wherever it is that they may live, all have access to clean water, clean air, housing that is sustainable for all of us and the planet. We are not powerless to make these kinds of systemic, large-scale changes. When we bring our convictions together, we're unstoppable. I really, really believe that. We vote grounded by our values. We hold elected officials accountable no matter who gets voted into office. We fight against the Line 5 pipeline crossing waterways in northern Wisconsin. We sign on to Jonah's plastic-free Eau Claire pledge because plastic waste is harming our oceans, wildlife, and health. And we say no to companies that want to bottle the water that comes from the Chippewa River watershed. We advocate because we know that collective liberation is bound up in the entire ecosystem of life. And we can bring about these big, life-giving, life-affirming, justice-binding changes with joy and with optimism, with truth-telling and resistance and creativity, because we know our power, our collective power. We know our convictions, we know our values, and we are reimagining a new way. Blessed be on that imagination, and amen. Would you like to come forward, Lucy? So my dear, loving, kind, caring people of the Unitarian Universalist Congregation of Eau Claire, we're going to go into a moment now where we affirm our commitments and our intentions with a ritual of action. Rituals facilitate connection and a sense of community, and they help us promote the values that we share. This ritual of action that we are doing today, again, is a ritual of action that is being done in some form or another in congregations all across our country. And they are intended to help us embody what we've been talking, thinking, and singing about. We're going to use water as a symbol of renewal, and we will bless our hands for the work of climate justice. I'm going to be moving throughout the congregation and then to those that are online, offering blessings. And as I address each group, there's something that you can do to indicate your willingness, your commitment to reimagine and to work for our planet and for all that make this place home. The invitation, and you can do it in any way that is comfortable for you, but I hope that you will take seriously the power of naming a commitment. No matter where you're starting from, a commitment can propel you forward. So as we offer blessings throughout the congregation, you can just put one hand on top of the other. You can extend it out, you can put it on your lap, you can put it in your heart, whatever you want. And I'm going to use this water to sort of do a group blessing. And after the service, if you would like to take a more personal moment, the water will be up front, and you can just dip your finger and touch your hand to give yourself a communal blessing that's a little more personal. Does that make sense to everybody? Okay. All you have to do is when I come in front of you, you just put your hands like this. And then you'll notice in your order of service, where did my order of service go? Here it is. Oh no, did I forget to put it in here? Oh my gosh. Let's see, hold on. I did. I forgot to give you a blessing to repeat after me, but that is okay. I'll say it for you, all right? Sorry about that. We roll with it. We're creative, reimagining people, right? Okay. Sean, I forgot to tell you this. Could you just play, some very light doodling music, because I'm gonna talk. So just very, very light, very light. Thank you, my friends. Friends, you are commissioned to act for climate justice. I bless your hands with water. May they do the work that must be done. Care for those who need the touch of kindness and create flourishing everywhere. And for this group, friends, you are commissioned to act for climate justice. I bless your hands with water. May they do the work that must be done. Care for those who need the touch of kindness and create flourishing everywhere. And for this group, friends, you are commissioned to act for climate justice. I bless your hands with water. May they do the work that must be done. Care for those who need the touch of kindness and create flourishing everywhere. And this group, friends, you are commissioned to act for climate justice. I bless your hands with water. May they do the work that must be done. Care for those who need the touch of kindness and create flourishing everywhere. And for those online, friends, You are commissioned to act for climate justice. I bless your hands with water. May they do the work that must be done, care for those who need the touch of kindness, and create flourishing everywhere. Thank you. Thank you all for receiving this blessing. Again, you are invited after the service to come forward. Place a dab of water on your hand. And for those of you who are online, place a water right from your tap on your hand. This is a mindful moment, a mindful opportunity to bless yourself while in community for your commitment to act for climate justice. Blessed be, and amen.